Good evening, everybody. I want to start with a confession, one that might surprise some of you. Ladies, men notice more than you think. You see, there's this ongoing myth that men are oblivious, that we don't pay attention. That, unless it's flashing in neon lights, we'll miss it. But I'm here to tell you tonight that's a lie. Ladies, let's talk about confidence. Because whether you realize it or not, men notice it instantly. It's not about arrogance. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about the way you carry yourself, the way you own who you are. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like nobody saw you? Like you were invisible? Let me tell you the truth, you weren't invisible. Someone saw you, but what did they see? Did they see a woman owning her space? Or did they see someone shrinking into the background? Because let me tell you something, confidence isn't what you wear. It's what you radiate. You could be in a $5,000 designer dress and still look uncomfortable in your own skin. Or you could be rocking sweatpants, a messy bun, and zero makeup, but if you walk in like you belong, people will feel it before they even see you. Now don't get it twisted, confidence is not perfection. Confidence doesn't mean you have it all figured out. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel insecure. It just means you don't let those insecurities control you. Men notice a woman who is comfortable with herself. A woman who doesn't need to seek validation from others to know her worth. And let me tell you why that's attractive, because when a woman knows who she is, she doesn't need a man to complete her. She doesn't settle for just any attention. She doesn't lower her standards just to be liked. Confidence commands respect without saying a word, and I want to make something clear, confidence is not about external things. It's not about how many followers you have, how expensive your outfit is, or how much attention you get. True confidence comes from the inside. It's in the way you speak with certainty instead of apologizing for taking up space. It's in the way you look people in the eye instead of looking down in doubt. It's in the way you walk with purpose instead of hesitating with every step. And listen to me, confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. Some of you are waiting for the day when you feel confident. But confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. It comes from stepping out even when you're scared. It comes from pushing past your doubts and showing up anyway. So, if you've ever thought, I wish men would notice me more, let me challenge you, do you notice yourself? Do you value yourself enough to show up with boldness, with presence, with belief in your own worth? Because I promise you this, when you start carrying yourself like you matter, the right people will notice. And more importantly, you will notice yourself. Own who you are. Walk like you belong. Because you do. Ladies, let me tell you something, men notice kindness. Not the kind of kindness that's forced. Not the kind of kindness that's put on for show. Not the I'm only nice when people are watching kind of kindness. No, true kindness. The kind that's woven into your character. See, there's a misconception that men only notice the big, flashy things, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you laugh. And sure, those things might turn a head for a moment, but what keeps a man's attention, what leaves a lasting impression, is the way you treat people. Because here's the truth, beauty will catch a man's eye, but kindness will capture his heart. The small moments speak the loudest. A man notices how you treat a stranger. He sees how you talk to the waiter when your order is wrong. He sees how you respond to the cashier when they're taking a little too long. He sees how you react when someone cuts you off in traffic. Do you roll your eyes? Do you sigh in frustration? Or do you extend grace? Because let's be real, kindness isn't tested when things are easy. It's tested when things are frustrating. A man notices the way you treat people who can't do anything for you. Because it's easy to be nice when you're trying to impress someone. It's easy to be kind when it benefits you. But what about when it doesn't? What about when there's nothing to gain? That's when real character is revealed. Kindness isn't weakness, it's strength. Some people think kindness makes you weak. That if you're too nice, people will walk all over you. Let me tell you something. True kindness is not weakness. True kindness is power under control. Kindness doesn't mean you let people take advantage of you. Kindness doesn't mean you allow toxic people to stay in your life. Kindness means you have the strength to treat others with love, even when they don't deserve it. And let me tell you what kind of man notices that kind of kindness. A real man. A man who values more than just a pretty face. A man who sees beyond the surface. A man who is looking for a woman with depth, with heart, with substance. Kindness in relationships. Listen. When a man is thinking about who he wants to build a life with, he's not just thinking about romance. He's thinking about the day-to-day life. He's thinking, how will she treat me when she's upset? How will she handle tough conversations? Will she speak with love even when she's frustrated? Because love isn't just words, it's action. And at the core of every healthy, lasting relationship is kindness. A man doesn't just want a woman who's kind to him, he wants a woman who is kind by nature. Because here's the thing, if someone is only kind when they want something, that's not kindness, it's manipulation. But when kindness is who you are, it shows up in everything you do. Ladies, let me tell you something. Men absolutely notice your passion. Not your job title, not your paycheck, not your resume, your passion. Because let's be real, there is nothing more captivating than a woman who comes alive when she talks about something she loves. See, a lot of people think men are only drawn to looks. And sure, physical attraction matters. But what keeps a man intrigued, what makes a woman truly unforgettable, is the fire inside of her. Because let me tell you the truth, passion is magnetic. Men notice what makes you light up. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone who was just going through the motions? They spoke, but there was no excitement in their voice, no energy in their body language. It was dull, lifeless, empty. Now compare that to someone who starts talking about something they truly love. Suddenly their voice rises, their eyes sparkle, their whole presence changes. That is passion. And let me tell you, a man notices that. A man notices the way your energy shifts when you talk about your dreams. A man notices the way your face lights up when you're doing what you love. A man notices when something sets your soul on fire. And it is absolutely magnetic. A woman with passion is unforgettable. Have you ever met someone who was so full of passion that their presence just stuck with you? Maybe it was the way they spoke. Maybe it was the way they refused to settle for a boring life. Maybe it was the way they chased after what mattered to them fearlessly, unapologetically. That kind of energy is contagious. It draws people in. It leaves an imprint. Because here's the thing, men are drawn to life. And passion is life. Nobody wants to be around someone who's bored with life, stuck in routine, and constantly just going through the motions. A woman who has no excitement, no drive, no purpose, she's not drawing anyone in. But a woman who is fully alive in her purpose. That's the kind of woman a man never forgets. Passion isn't just about a career now. Don't get me wrong, passion isn't just about your job. It's not just about what you do for a living. Your passion could be the way you love your family, the way you serve in your community, the way you pour into your creativity, the way you pursue your faith, the way you stand for something bigger than yourself. It's the thing that fuels you, the thing that makes you come alive. And when a woman is fully alive, it's impossible not to notice. Passion shows a man who you really are. Ladies, hear me on this. When a man sees what excites you, he sees who you really are. Your passion reveals your heart. It shows what drives you, what moves you, what wakes you up in the morning. A man who cares about you will care about what makes you come alive. A man who is invested in you will be invested in your passions. And let me just say this, the right man will never be intimidated by your passion. The right man won't try to dull your fire. The right man won't make you shrink to fit into his world. The right man will encourage you to go all in on what makes you feel alive. Because a man who values passion knows this. A woman who is on fire for something will set the whole world ablaze. Ladies, I need you to hear this loud and clear. Men notice your strength even when you think no one does. Not the kind of strength that's loud. Not the kind of strength that demands attention. Not the kind of strength that flexes for the world to see. No, the quiet strength. The real strength. The strength you don't even realize you have. The strength it takes to wake up and fight battles no one claps for. The strength it takes to keep going when quitting would be easier. The strength it takes to hold yourself together when everything in you wants to fall apart. Men notice that. See, there's this idea that men only see what's surface level. That we only pay attention to how you look, how you dress, how you present yourself to the world. But let me tell you something, a real man sees beyond the surface. A real man notices the woman who's carrying a weight no one else sees. A real man sees the exhaustion behind your smile, the fight behind your silence, the resilience in your spirit. A real man knows that the strongest people aren't the ones who never struggle, they're the ones who struggle, but never stop pushing forward. Strength isn't about never struggling, it's about never giving up. Let's get real for a second. Some of you feel like you're failing because you're struggling. Some of you think that because you feel tired, because you feel broken, because you have days when you don't know how you'll make it, then somehow you must not be strong. But hear me on this, struggle doesn't mean weakness. Struggle means you're fighting. And a man who sees you truly, deeply, and fully, he's not going to look at your struggle and think you're weak. He's going to look at it and see the exact opposite. Because a woman who has been through something and is still standing, that's a woman with a strength that can't be shaken. Men notice the battles you fight in silence. A man may not always say it, but trust me, he sees the little things. He sees the way you show up for everyone, even when no one is showing up for you. He sees the way you push through your day, even when you're running on empty. He sees the way you hold yourself together when life is throwing everything at you. He sees the weight you carry. And listen, the right man will appreciate that strength. Because let's be honest, life isn't easy. Relationships aren't easy. Marriage isn't easy. And a man who's thinking beyond just today, a man who's thinking about forever, is looking for a woman who knows how to hold her ground when life gets hard. He's not just looking for someone who's beautiful when things are good. He's looking for someone who's steady when things get tough. And if you've been through something, if you've had to fight for yourself, for your family, for your dreams, then let me tell you something. You are exactly the kind of woman a real man values. Your strength is more beautiful than you know. Society tells you that being strong means never needing help. That being strong means never showing emotions. That being strong means doing everything on your own. But that's a lie. True strength is knowing when to keep going and knowing when to let others in. True strength is being able to carry weight, but also knowing when to lay it down. And the kind of man who's worth your time, he's not going to be intimidated by your strength. He's not going to run when he sees what you've been through. He's going to admire it, because a woman who has been tested by life and still stands tall, that's the kind of woman who can build a life, a home, a future. Ladies, I want to tell you something today that might surprise you. Men notice the little things, not just the big moments, not just the obvious things, not just the way you look when you're all dressed up for a special occasion. The little things. The things you think no one sees. The things you do out of habit, without even realizing it. Men notice those. Because here's the truth. The little things aren't little at all. They are the things that make you you. They are the things that set you apart. They are the things that leave an impression long after you've left the room. A man who truly values you isn't just paying attention to the obvious. He's paying attention to the details. And let me tell you, those details matter. Men notice the small habits you think no one sees. The way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're nervous? He does. You think no one notices how you always hum a little tune when you're happy? He does. You think no one cares about the way you scrunch your nose when you're deep in thought? He does. Because the truth is, the things that feel like nothing to you, they are everything to someone who cares about you. Men notice the way you make others feel. It's not just the way you look, it's the way you make people feel. A man notices when you smile at a stranger in passing. A man notices when you go out of your way to encourage someone who's struggling. A man notices when you're fully present in a conversation, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Because the way you treat people in the small, everyday moments, that speaks volumes about your character. And the right man, he's not just looking for someone who is beautiful, he's looking for someone who is genuine. Men notice the effort you put in. You might think your little acts of kindness go unnoticed, but trust me, they don't. He notices when you send a quick good luck text before his big meeting. He notices when you remember how he likes his coffee, without him having to remind you. He notices when you check in on him just to make sure he's doing okay. Those small moments of thoughtfulness. Those are the moments that make a man feel truly seen, valued, and cared for. Because let me tell you something, it's easy to show up for the big things. It's easy to make an effort on anniversaries, birthdays, or special occasions. But it's the small, consistent efforts, the little things, day after day, that show a man what kind of woman you really are. Men notice the way you handle life's small challenges. It's not just about what you do for him, it's about the way you carry yourself in the little moments of life. A man notices how you handle it when your coffee spills or your order is wrong. A man notices how you react when you hit traffic or when plans don't go your way. A man notices whether you complain about every inconvenience or if you handle things with grace. Because character isn't revealed in the big moments, it's revealed in the small ones. And the kind of man who is serious about you, the kind of man who is thinking about forever, he's paying attention to how you handle the little things. Because if the little things frustrate you, if the little things make you lose your patience, if the little things make you bitter, what's going to happen when life throws big challenges your way? The right man appreciates the little things. Here's what I need you to understand. If a man truly sees you, if he's really invested, he won't just be drawn to the big things. He won't just admire your looks, your accomplishments, or your social presence. He'll admire the quiet, everyday details that make you special. Because the little things, they are what make love last. They are what turn just another person into someone unforgettable. They are what turn a casual relationship into something real, something deep, something worth building on. Ladies, I need you to hear me loud and clear. Authenticity stands out. In a world that is constantly telling you to filter yourself, to change who you are, to fit into a mold that was never meant for you, realness is rare. But let me tell you something, men notice it. Not the fake perfection. Not the carefully curated version of you. Not the version that's trying to impress or be who you think a man wants. No, the real you. The unfiltered you. The you that doesn't have to try so hard. That's the woman a man remembers. That's the woman who stands out. Men notice when you're comfortable in your own skin. Confidence is attractive, but authenticity is powerful. See, confidence can sometimes be an act. It can be a performance. It can be something people put on in front of others, but take off when they're alone. But authenticity, that's deeper. That's real. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. A man notices when you walk into a room and own who you are without trying to be someone you're not. A man notices when you're comfortable enough to laugh at yourself instead of pretending to be perfect. A man notices when you aren't trying to fit into someone else's standard of beauty, success, or worth. Because let's be honest, the world is full of people pretending. Pretending to be happy. Pretending to be perfect. Pretending to have it all together. And when a woman is genuinely herself, not trying to impress, not trying to outshine, not trying to be anything other than exactly who she is, that stands out. Men notice when you're not playing games. Let's talk about something real. Men notice when you're authentic in how you communicate. There's a lot of noise in relationships today. A lot of mixed signals, a lot of game playing, a lot of pretending to care less than you actually do. But let me tell you something.